I can't believe I get the chicken question to start with, so thank you for that. Um, I think to begin with, this issue was approached several years ago, 7 or 8 years ago. I think we heard that in the last discussion. And I think it's also important to note that it has yet to come to a public hearing. It's been handled in a workshop at this point. And so we haven't had a chance to overarchingly hear what our residents and our business community thinks. So I think that's very important on any issue, is that we make sure that we're listening to what our residents want. And so we just haven't hit that point. That being said, I'm not going to hedge my bets on this one, or I'm not going to hedge on this one, rather. I have been out talking to quite a few people, and overwhelmingly, people are telling me that they prefer not to have more chickens in their backyard. I do agree with the position that this disproportionately affects our traditional neighborhoods in terms of allowing so many chickens in that area. Right now, chickens wouldn't be allowed in HOAs. And, when you move into an HOA, you have those certain protections and expectation of what you are going to get when you move into that area. Our traditional neighborhoods are relying on us as city government to help protect those same expectations of what they moved in when they moved into a residential neighborhood, not an agricultural one. So no, I don't support more chickens in backyards.
Thank you. Councilmember Matt Orlando.
What she said. You know, we have some folks in this room today that remember this chicken ordinance several years ago, and we're here spoken in opposition. And it's still the same issues they were concerned about. Again, I don't want to pour more problems on our traditional neighborhoods. I came to Chandler, a traditional neighborhood. I chose to move in HOA, but traditional neighborhoods, we have a lot more work to be working with, a lot more work to do with the traditional neighborhoods. And to add this other issue onto that, I just think it's a little premature right now. We could talk about permit process. We could speak about getting your neighbors' signatures. But one of those, when we start doing that, you start pitting neighbors against neighbors. What happens if one neighbor wants chicken, the other 7 don't? What do? I just can't say, well, the ordinance says I'm going to pluck chickens in there because the ordinance says that. Well, what about the other 6 neighbors' property rights? So we have to be concerned about that. I don't want to pile on our traditional neighborhoods. I think, when we first moved here, there was a lot of farmland out here. I remember very many chickens in Chandler, a lot of cows, a lot of sheep, a lot of other things, but not many chickens. We're a city. We're 282,000 people. We're almost the size of Newark, New Jersey, where I grew up. And I don't remember very many chickens in Newark, and I don't remember very many chickens being here. So right now, I go slow on this. I get more, and I'm hearing a lot of neighborhoods saying, no, I don't want to go through this pain of process of chickens. And we could talk about diseases and molts and other stuff, but right now, we have to respect the rights of all residents in our city and not just a couple hundred people that may want chickens. Thank you.
Thank you. Darla Gonzalez, chickens.
Chickens. So Matt, where do you buy a chicken? Because I can't figure out where to buy a chicken anyway. Is there a chicken selling place around here?
Probably 20 miles from here.
Okay. So I talked to thousands of people out there getting signatures, and I asked them this question. This is my survey question: chickens or no chickens? And most of the people, to be honest, want chickens in their backyard. I don't get it. I don't want a chicken in my backyard. But the role of government is to protect property rights. And this is tricky because who's got the right? If you own property, who has the right? This is a really tough decision. I can see why it's taken years to not make one, right? But I'm a freedom lover, and so I'm really struggling with this issue. I've heard both sides from several people. I'm hesitant to say where I stand with it because my freedom-loving part of myself and the part that wants to protect people's property rights is, then there's this logical other part. So I'm not sure what I want to tell Les no chickens. I so badly want to tell him that. But I just haven't found a lot of people who want to have chickens in their backyard. So I have to ask the question, are we majoring on the minors here? Are there 20 people in the whole city that wants chickens, and we're spending all this time talking about something that, literally there's just a handful of people who want chickens? And if that's the case, I say let's not major on the minors.
So you're saying no to chickens?
I would say if there's 20 people that want chickens and 260,000 people that don't want chickens, then we shouldn't have chickens. So I don't know if that made sense, but I'm still, I know, like, it's just like we're talking about chickens and there's probably 20 people out there that want chickens. So it's a
The
tough
reason the
subject.
question got asked is because the council's considering those 20 people or those 5 people or those 3 people, whatever
I
it is.
understand that. And that's why I've been talking to people and reading proposals and trying to fact find so that I could make a due diligence.
So if you had to vote today, how would you vote on allowing chickens into those those traditional neighborhoods?
I would probably vote no, just
Okay.
because there's so few people that
Okay.
really want chickens. But I could change my mind.
Thank you. Angel Encinas.
All right. Well, personally, I don't have a problem with my neighbors having chickens. I live right in the heart of downtown Chandler. It's a traditional neighborhood, and I'm pretty sure my neighbor a few years ago had a few chickens because a rooster would be waking us up every other day. But luckily it was at a decent hour, so I was okay with it. And then I didn't hear any more of that chicken or rooster anymore, so I'm not sure what happened there anymore. But my main concern with these chickens, with the chicken debate, basically, is that, yeah, 70% of our residents are protected by HOAs. And the other 30% where I live are communities that are already in distress and, they're the bulk of the code enforcement already. And so I feel if we allow these chickens to enter our neighborhoods, it's going to bring more work and more cost to our enforcement department that's already overwhelmed here in Chandler. We also have the potential of different things with the chickens as far as like health conditions, salmonella. Are people going to start selling these eggs? Who's controlling this and who's overseeing it? And so ultimately, for me, having chickens in Chandler is fraught, and it's more potential for a problem than it's worth from a policy perspective for me.
No on chickens.
No on chickens.
Farhana.
Boy, I have dogs, no chicken. So it reminds me of the pit bull issue. Like it was a hot conversation. Can we have that breed or not have that breed, right? And chicken are not that aggressive, but thankfully, some of my good friends brought up some researches in front of me that shows a lot of investigation about the disease, about the harmfulness of having the chicken. But I grew up in my childhood having the chicken around me, so I have a little bit of soft heart for them. Finding the egg in their hatch is such a joy that our kids they will never experience in USA. For my daughters, chicken means only go to the grocery and see the meat. They don't even know they walk and fly or walk around. So, but my point is about this issue, voting yes or no. Um, Angel said it very nicely that we have the HOA thing. Like their law and regulation prohibit a lot of practices that our residents can do and cannot do. So if some people want chicken, if they can raise their own kids, I think 1 or 2 chicken will be okay. They would be responsible enough to raise that chicken. So my vote will be yes, because I don't want to take away the right from those people who has the right, ability, understanding to raise chicken. And also, I do not want to make others feel that they're under threat. So I think the previous debate, we get to understand the real council elected people right now, they have been discussing and made the decision with some fine regulation and restriction. We can give the freedom to have chicken for those who can do it right.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Farhana. Okay, next question.